Already here with a ship's roster review for Andi in the Broken Legion, and I'm going to give you suggestions for what to do with your fleet. So, Andi, first thing you said was you are currently using the Chimera with Houndstooth, TIE Advanced, and Ghost, which is very smart. That is the fleet you should probably be using based on what you have right now. Houndstooth provides your tank, and Houndstooth is a very difficult ship to get up, and it looks like you're 7-starring the Houndstooth, very excellent. On top of that, you are the TIE Advance is a really good attacker, and the Ghost will help to sell the TIE Advance. The main thing I can see with this is you should probably work on gearing up Zeb. Definitely work on gearing up Zeb, and it'd probably be smart. One way to just think about this is to think about uh, this as your normal arena. So if you really care about ships or you really want to make sure you have a good future in ships, is gear 12 these characters. It will help out a little bit, give out yourself a little bit more speed, especially if everyone else in your arena has their characters out at gear 12. That's a way to get a comparable advantage to them. Otherwise, they will have a slight one up on you every time you go against them. Um, and then Chimera, also, that's just really high up for you right now. You have all of its abilities maxed out. You have Thrawn most of the way up, apart from ability levels, which I'm assuming is Zetas and mods. Mods, you're probably just missing. Um, you're probably just missing 6 dot mods, which isn't too big a deal. They would help a teeny bit, but not really much. If you find your capital ship doesn't have a speed advantage compared to everyone else, it could be worth putting the Zetas on. But other than that, you're looking really good right now. So now let's look at what you're probably using on reinforcements. I would imagine you're using Phantom 2. You have it maxed out. It makes an excellent, great reinforcement. The only thing you could probably do is gear up Chopper and Sabine some more. If you haven't already putting Zetas on Sabine and Ezra, that's really all you could do to improve this ship apart to make it better and make it deal a little bit more damage. But Phantom 2 you definitely want to be using as a reinforcement. You are likely using Cassian G-Wing because you have Cassian G-Wing really well geared, provides several dispelling opportunities. It's probably a better dispeller than TIE Reaper, so I would use that as a potential reinforcement as a dispeller. You might be using Slave 1, I would guess. Slave 1 makes an excellent reinforcement. It comes in with a taunt. Um, you could be using Poe Dameron. You have several good options if you want. You could have TIE Reaper in there. Um, all these are great options. One thing I do see that's missing from your reinforcements, though, is a good tank um, as an option. And there's really only 2 options for tanks on reinforcements. You got Biggs here, and you got Sunfac. And your Sunfac's really low gear, which means the best option to go with is Biggs. If you want to have a tank, having a tank as a reinforcement can be super annoying, especially if you take out the tank on the other side. I've lost plenty of battles on offense because the other side called in a tank after I attacked and took out the first one, and it just stalled enough that the first 2 attackers that started out killed and wiped me out. So I personally suggest having a tank on your reinforcements in order to help you out. And both Biggs and Sunfac make excellent options for that. Sunfac comes with a stun. Biggs, if his reinforcement is all the way maxed out, comes with an automatic taunt. So both are really good. So that's basically, I think the main thing you need to probably work on is getting up Biggs, gearing up as a reinforcement, and gearing up Zeb and Chopper a little bit more. If you want to, gear 12 the others and throw some Zetas on them to give you speed advantages and whatnot. That's really up to you, and it's based off the comparability to you and other people in your shard. But I do generally suggest having characters up for ships at least gear 11, and if they're on your ship squad at all, whether it's as a reinforcement or especially if it's your main, they're part of your main 3 starting ships, having them up to gear 12. Um, but let's go and look at what you could be doing for the future of ships. Um, a couple things to take into mind. First is cargo ships. So, what are the cargo ships in the game? I think you're probably doing really well in this aspect compared to others, but Millennium Falcon, Phantom 2, Ghost, Houndstooth, and Landos Falcon are all of the cargo ships in this game. And other than Landos Falcon, you're pretty good on that in that area. If you're able to complete the cargo mission 3 stars, and probably don't need to worry about it. But if you aren't, then you probably want to put some more work into Lando's Millennium Falcon. Another thing to think of is what's the next fleet? The fleet you're currently using is definitely not the strongest fleet in the game. And what are some things to look at? One thing to look at is Geos. Though this may not be the end-all fleet right now, Geos are still a really strong fleet in Fleet Arena, and you have them all 7-star ships and characters. So you're really only missing out on the gear here. Other than Geonosian Spy, they're not too hard to gear. They don't require too much in store of raid gear. They do require a little bit in form of stun guns and stun cuffs, but it's really not too hard. If you just put about half a month into gearing them, you can get them up to gear 11 or 12 pretty easily. So I would suggest putting work into them. However, the other option here is continue your work on Houndstooth and Ghost. Put more work into Executrix here. Gear up Tarkin a little bit more to gear 12 because you probably want your fleet commander to be gear 12. And it looks like you're about to max out Executive Order and Turbo Laser batteries. That's good. Max out Executive Order first. Basic is generally the last thing you want to worry about with a capital ship. And when Xanadu Blood becomes free to play, 7-star it, and make Cad Bane gear 11 or gear 12. That would probably be the best thing you could do. Because what you can do as a starting fleet is use Executrix with Xanadu Blood, Ghost, and Houndstooth. Houndstooth and Xanadu Blood have some synergy. They work really well together. They counter the Geos well if you're facing a lot of them in Arena. And it worked probably super well for you, Andy. So Geos and Xanadu Blood are probably 2 great ways of going for the future of ships. Another great ship for the future of ships is Anakin's ETA Starfighter here. Another thing to keep in mind. And just one other ship that you could work on as like a long-term side project is Biston-Jewing. Biston-Jewing is basically the TIE Advance for Rebels. It's a really good ship. Most people put it in place of TIE Advance, and you wouldn't be disappointed to get it up. I personally don't have it up yet because I don't have the characters geared up, but I plan on doing it pretty soon after I gear up my Phoenix. And so I hope all this information has helped you out, Andy. I think you're currently on the right track. Just I think your focuses for ships should be just gearing up characters that are currently in your arena team for ships, and maybe in gearing up Biggs and Sunfac because it's excellent to have all the tanks and ships geared up, and then just Xanadu Blood, definitely. If you want to take any of my other suggestions of going after Geos or whatnot, feel free. But I think overall you're doing super well in ships right now. You have a decently meta fleet. May not have the most synergy in the game, which is maybe why going after Xanadu Blood or Geos is better, just because they have synergy that makes them a little bit stronger. But overall, I think you're doing pretty well. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me in Discord. I'm always there for anyone with questions about ships. I really am not the most knowledgeable person about ships, but I do know a little bit about the general meta fleets and some various things to keep in mind. I try my best to help people think about ships, characters, in terms of other things in the game. But again, just reach out to me if you need anything. Have a great day. Bye. David 4040 signing out.